Welcome back, everybody. Sorry just for being a hot second late. Just finished up eating dinner, so wanted to make sure I got that because I didn't know when I was going to have time later on tonight. Welcome back to the channel. This is United vs. Everybody. My name is Sean, and we are back tonight as the January transfer window continues to roll on. We're back tonight to just recap some of the latest and greatest Manchester United transfer news and just a little bit of the general United news as well. We've been doing this a couple times now. Just happy to stop by and recap for you guys just to get your thoughts on everything. And maybe not everybody like me has so much time to sit and read and pay attention to a lot of this. So I'm happy to get to be that and talk to you about that. So Monday does tend to be a fun news day in general for Manchester United. We tend to see news. It tends to be on a Monday, but January transfer window has been popping off today on all Mondays. So the rumors are rumoring. I've compiled, again, a lot of the United-related chatter. So we're going to talk transfers news. I promise I'm not going to take up too much of your time. As you saw last night in the match reaction to the Liverpool match, which I'm still buzzing about, by the way, doing the transfer news in a different video does kind of keep those videos for running long. So happy to do it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the notification bell if you want to make sure you don't miss out on anything. Rush Mano, welcome back. Boom. Welcome, everyone. We did get a bit of a boom today, at least an orange theme bomb, but we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. So let's dive right in, starting with Rudy Galletti and some news with another Italian player, another Italian club, and Marcus Rashford. These rumors just aren't going away. Every day it's a new Italian club linked to Marcus Rashford. Bandomac, good to see you, my friend. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good day. Hope it's not too cold. It is freezing where I am. It's been like a blizzard all day. So that's been fun. But on Rudy Galletti, he says, recent discussions between United and Napoli initially focused on Marcus Rashford. So remember, we talked the other day about Napoli, Marcus Rashford. Could he be reunited with Lukaku, McTominay? Antonio Conte reportedly is a big fan. But according to Rudy Galletti, these recent discussions have also kind of stepped a little further and kind of evolved into discussions about one Kvaratskhelia, Kvaradona. We're just going to call him Kvaradona because don't make me say his name over and over again, really. So apparently he is on United's shortlist as potential Marcus Rashford replacement. However, a January departure has reportedly been just excluded at the moment because I don't think anyone's getting Kvaradona in January, let's be real. But the talks apparently are ongoing, according to Rudy Galletti. But so far, it sounds like Kvaradona is prioritizing a contract with Napoli, but we've seen Nuno Mendes, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mo Salah, that it's not always as straightforward as just renewing a contract. More often than not, these players these days will run down their contract or they'll just go. It's not unheard of. But it does sound like Napoli, Antonio Conte, Kvaradona are all trying to find some sort of common ground on that. But according to Rudy Galletti, United have made inquiries about that. However, on Kvaradona's new contract, if an agreement is not reached in the next months, he is open to exploring options in the summer. Again, I should have looked. I didn't look and see how many months he has left on his contract. But Galletti goes on and says, although United are still tracking the player, it's not certain they'll be interested after June, given they need reinforcement right now in January. So again, it sounds like if the rumors are true, if this report is true, it sounds like we're doing what we can to help make sure Rashford gets out of here, but we're also wanting to make sure that we get a replacement, especially in that front attacking line. We need some help up there. Not only do we need some creativity and energy, but we need some goals as well. We need runners, we need legs. Ideally, in that 210, that front two behind the striker, we want a creator and someone like Acuna, someone like a Liam Delap, who's just going to run, who's just going to put himself through a brick wall. Apparently, Antonio Conte has confirmed, though, that Kvaradona still got a little bit of an injury that he's not quite recovering from. So we'll see how that goes. But you guys let me know what you think about Kvaradona. Let me jump into the chat. Bandomax says, how many shirts do you have? It's always a different one. Oh, man, I counted the other day, and just United shirts, I think I've got 26. I'm always on the lookout for new shirts. There's a couple that I really am still looking out for. If I find them for a good price, I'm going to score them. But yeah, I've got a lot of United shirts, and I've probably got like 8, 9, 10 that are not United related. I've got like U.S. men's national teams jersey. You guys have seen me wear my Netherlands jersey. I've got an Ajax shirt. It's not it's not a flex, Bandomac. This is a very sad indictment of a serious mismanagement of finances on my end. So it's not a flex. It's just, but I haven't even worn all of my United shirts on camera yet. So there's still some that y'all haven't even seen yet. Justin, my guy, what's really good? 8 days home, and we're about to be watching football every day. Yeah, Justin and I will be in Manchester. What's today, Monday? So yeah, we can say next week now. Next Wednesday, he and I will be popping off, flying overnight, doing the red eye, and we will be showing up on Thursday just in time for Southampton, cruising over to the FA Youth Cup game at Lee Sports Village the following day, going to Salford City versus Fleetwood Town on Saturday, and then we'll be sticking around for the Brighton match. We might even squeeze in a Manchester derby to watch the women's team. I forgot to look that up, but the women's team, their kickoff is a couple hours after that Brighton match ends. So we might even pop over to the Etihad to double City's fan base just by us two being there. So, but yeah, I'm excited. We are all super excited. Rush Mano says, Rudy Galletti is a dodgy source. He might be. Again, this isn't, I mean, if you guys have watched any YouTube channels, any fan channels, this is not me saying that this is legitimate. This is 100%. This is me, again, recapping the latest and greatest transfer news and getting your thoughts, getting everyone's thoughts on it, just seeing what you think. I'm never going to say one thing is for sure or not, but it's interesting stuff, right? That's why we call it silly season. But Danny, welcome back, my guy. Good to see you. We're just wrapping up some of these Cavaradona links that came out from Rudy Galletti earlier. Lionheart's good to see you. Box wants to know if I have any names in the back of my shirts. Any shirts that I have, Box, that have names on them are in frames. There's names, they're in frames. There's 2 here. There's 4 over there. I've got a Michael Carrick one I've still got to get framed. But yeah, all the ones that have names on them are framed. And I usually only get them, the ones with names on them, when they're like legends of the club. So, and I do consider Carrick a legend. I don't care who you are. Carrick is one of the greatest holding midfielders I've ever seen. Mateo Moretto. Yeah, we've talked about Mateo Moretto. Again, when the rumors pop up, we are gonna talk all about them. So, Justin says, "Bro, you've given me shirts that you've never worn on camera." Yeah, sometimes I get shirts and they're just not big enough. So, Justin says, "Can we buy tickets at the door for the derby?" I don't know. We can check. I mean, if Pep wants to come out and start begging people to come watch the women's team like he begged them to watch the men's team, I mean, who knows? But I'll check on that when I'm done here. I'll go check out what that looks like. I just forgot to do it earlier. And Box says, Carrick's top player underrated. Yeah, I've got his autobiography behind me somewhere. It's called Between the Lines. Very, very good. I love Carrick. Carrick was class. And you guys know how I feel about holding midfielders. I think one of the key hallmarks that I can say about holding midfielders, now again, not defensive midfielders, holding midfielders, is when they can play 90 minutes and you don't really hear their name mentioned. It's just because they just keep things ticking. You're not really going to hear Sergio Busquets' name said a lot during a 90 minutes, but you know that Sergio Busquets is right in the thick of it, keeping things ticking, being kind of a metronome, setting the pace, being a good anchor point, and I love that. Rush says Mateo has put a Rashford update out. Well, let us know, man. Let us know what he said. Bandomax says, yeah, Carrick was just so efficient, not flashy, just get the job done. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that Carrick actually was a very, I'm trying to find a nice way to say that. He wasn't the most confident in himself, is a nice way to put it. And he talks about that in his autobiography. I think Fergie talked about it in his biography as well. Rasta Stocks, welcome back, my friend. I don't know how I really feel about the results yesterday, but I'm glad we didn't lose. Well, if you caught the match reaction yesterday, you know I'm obviously buzzing, and I would have snatched off your hand for a draw if you had offered it to me ahead of the match. But as the match was going on and as I saw how much better we were than Liverpool, how much better we were on the day than we have been, my greedy ass wanted 3 points. I think if we would have played for another minute or two, we would have won that game. I think maybe if we would have made some of those subs just a little bit earlier. And again, that's me splitting hairs, and maybe you could say if that last pass from Zirkzee had Maguire let that run through to Garnacho, or maybe if it wasn't Maguire that was on the end of it, and it was somebody else that would have put away. I don't know. Shoulda, coulda, woulda's, right? But Ross Stocks says, but I was like, with that performance, why aren't they doing that the same for the previous games? Yeah. And that's we talked about that a lot. Amorim talked about it. Bruno talked about it. Yeah, we talked about that a lot. So, but good to see you again, Ross Stocks. Welcome back, my friend. Moving on. So there's been a lot of Nuno Mendes chatter. We've talked about that a bit already. So you know my thoughts on Nuno Mendes. Whether it's Nuno Mendes, whether it's Milos Kerkez, whether it's whoever, United, it sounds like we could be set to bring in a left wing back no matter what this January. It sounds like maybe that's a priority. This is coming from Dean Jones. He claims that United are aiming to sign a left wing back in the coming days instead of letting the search drag on. And he says the club intend for this week to be a defining week when it comes to bringing someone in. Maybe we could see a signing in just the second week of the January window. Who do you guys think it will be? Do you think it could be Nuno Mendes? Do you think it could be somebody else? Do you even want Nuno Mendes? Where do you stand on that? We've talked about it a little bit, but honestly, for me, and I think Danny kind of pushed me over the edge a little bit, I think it's got to be Milos Kerkez in terms of picking up someone for that left side. I think for me, it's Kerkez first, Miguel Gutierrez second, and like Leif Davis a semi-distant third. I think that Davis has shown that he's been a top player. Gutierrez, very, very good, one of the best in La Liga, really low price. Kerkez, though, Kerkez is probably pushing his price tag up a little bit, so we'll see what happens there. But where do you guys stand on Nuno Mendes? Nick Fadley, other team may start copying what Man United did to face Liverpool. I mean, it's not hard to do. We talked about it in the match preview. They're going to push Trent forward. Salah's going to stay forward. They're going to leave space in behind. If we just have a little bit of bollocks on us, if we just get a little bit confident and move that ball quickly and exploit that space, we'll have some chances. And we did that. And we took advantage of it. I wish we would have done that just a little more. We would have really pushed heavy on that, but we did what we needed to do. We won our battles. We were clinical. Bruno had one of his best games I've ever seen, and you can't fault it. So Danny says, maybe with Soler going to Bournemouth, we might be getting Kerkez. Maybe, but he's still not going to be cheap, and that's the problem. Maybe we can add somebody to sweeten the pot, but I don't think he's going to be cheap no matter what. Rush says, AC Milan are among several clubs set to hold talks to discuss conditions of Marcus Rashford loan deal for January. More clubs around Europe expected to approach. Yeah, did we talk about that yesterday, though? Or not yesterday, maybe it was 2 days ago with the last transfer year. It seems like there was, because we spoke about Napoli, Juventus, AC Milan, because I remember wondering how Rashford, Rafael Leao, Jimenez, Okafor, I was wondering how all these players are going to fit in that AC Milan side. I think AC Milan could be a good fit for Rashford, but I'd struggle to see how he would fit in that club. But yeah, we talked about that the other day, so I'm not sure if that's brand new, but thanks for bringing it to our attention, Rush. Rasa says, and another thing, our captain, to me, he's just not captain material. Yes, he has his moments where he's good. What a captain needs to be a captain all the time. Yesterday he was. If he could play like that, if he could replicate that performance week in, week out, Bruno, that was a captain's performance. He was instructing, he was being selfless, he was being controlled, disciplined, patient, and he raised his game to another level against Liverpool. Now, whether that was he had some time off, whether because he was suspended, or if it was just added training, or if it was just because it's Liverpool, I don't know. Like I said in the video yesterday, the match reaction, whatever it was, keep doing it. I don't know. Tap into it. Hold on to it tightly and carry it with you into each match, because yesterday was pretty much a near perfect performance from Bruno. Couldn't have asked for much else. Then he says, Rashford deal has to be a loan with an obligation. It's a waste of time otherwise. Yeah, we have to get some money, and you really do. You just want it gone. We want that money now. We need that money now. A loan isn't going to help anybody. We just got to get it done. Bach says Pulisic is a star man for Milan. Yeah, he did pretty good the other day. I was watching him in a Supercopa match, and he was playing very, very well. Who were they playing the other? I forgot who they're playing now, but I think they won. I don't remember off the top of my head, though. So, yeah, again, though, I'm not sold. The only thing, I'm not saying Nuno Mendes is a bad player. It's, again, you guys know, it's just the injury record. The guy missed like the whole 22-23 season with a hamstring injury. We know that around United, a hamstring is a 4-letter word. we've all got PTSD from the hamstrings. And so it's getting to the point where even like around Easter, someone just starts talking about ham. I cringe a little bit, like a kid who's getting beat or something, because just the ham word has just got such a visceral response for me. I can't handle it anymore. Just nothing but bad memories. Bach says Milan beat Inter tonight 3-2 in the final. Oh, right on. Look at that. Tenzin, how are you? Vlahovic or Højlund? We're going to talk about that in a second. We're going to talk about Vlahovic right now, but good to see you getting in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. So if you recall from the Transfer Talk stream the other day, there were reports that Juventus wanted to bring Joshua Zirkzee to Turin to be reunited with Thiago Motta. I think that Sky Sports reported that Juve are actually trying to work on a deal. I think the report was they wanted a loan, but United don't want a loan if they do let him go. This morning, though, so Alex Crook popped up. He made claims that Juventus have actually now sweetened the pot for a deal by offering Dusan Vlahovic to United as part of the deal for Joshua Zirkzee. This is very strange to me. Vlahovic has got just 18 months left on his deal. Apparently he's not shown any signs that he wants to extend. He wants to stay at Juve. Fabrizio Armano chimed in again about this. He says Juventus are pushing for Joshua Zirkzee. The player's agent and Juve's director have a very good relationship. Juventus manager Thiago Motta is interested, and contacts with the player's side began weeks ago. United don't want a straight loan. So again, sounds like Juve are pushing for a loan. United don't want one. Again, similar to Rashford, if we get rid, just go. If you don't want to be here, then we don't want to be here. Like that's just is what it is. And then another Sky Sports reporter, Kavas Sovakol, I think is how you say his name. He actually then contradicted all of this. So again, you've got two sources within the same outlet, Sky, contradicting each other. He said that Zirkzee wants to stay. It's anyone's guess, right? Again, this is why we call it silly season. But, the rumors keep rumoring one at a time. It's a bit crazy. Bach says, Motta, one-trick pony, that being Zirkzee. Yeah, he had Zirkzee doing pretty well at Bologna, right? Nick says, put your hands together, Hojlevojevic. I like it. Danny says, give me Delap and Højlund next year. Gyökeres probably be first pick, though, for me. I'm liking Delap more and more. I was a little unsure just because of it's more of the proven thing. I want to see how he handles it at a bigger kind of level, at a tougher level of football. But he's doing it. How many goals does he have now? 6, 7 in the league. He reminds me a lot of Cunha, very just physical, energetic, very quick, powerful. He's that runner in one of those number 10 roles. Like I said, he's very similar to Cunha. He'd probably be a cheaper option than Cunha as well. But Delap is growing on me. Homegrown helps too, right? Lionheart says, yeah, I wouldn't mind Delap. Buck says, Vlahovic has played for some negative football style managers in Allegri and Motta. Would be interesting to see him under a positive manager. So, that brings me to my point. So, if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I'm not a huge fan of Dusan Vlahovic. It's not that I think he's bad. Like, he's a fine striker. He's a good kind of like old school striker. He's not bad per se. I just don't think he's as good as he was when he was at Fiorentina. His final 2 seasons at Fiorentina, he had a couple dozen goals, and he's not really replicated that. I don't think he's better than Gyökeres. I don't think he's better than Victor Osimhen. I honestly, and I know I get a lot of hate, but I do think Højlund has a higher ceiling than Vlahovic personally. That's just me personally, though. That's just me. Plus, again, coming back to the Zirkzee thing, Ruben Amorim said after the Liverpool match, like he wants to keep him. Now, whether or not that's him trying to just play the game, play the transfer game, or what, or if he really wants to keep Zirkzee, I couldn't tell you. It's anyone's guess. Maybe he's a little more savvy when it comes to those kind of things than maybe we thought. But if we were getting strikers, I wouldn't want Vlahovic. I guess that's the best way I can put it. Danny says, would be great if you played for Ireland. Like, what just happened to all my chats? They all disappeared. There we go. Would be great if you played for Ireland like his dad. Lionheart says, true, Rory was a proper player. I remember him. Can't leave him throw a ball, though. Danny says, I agree. Don't make it in the Prem. Here's the thing with Vlahovic that I think is why I think he's also going to struggle. it's getting pretty obvious and pretty clear more and more, and we've seen it from Højlund. And again, I give Højlund grace because he's so young. I do want him to do a little better in some of these situations, like his first touch and whatnot. But you have to be more than just a simple poacher in this league now. You have to be able to contribute, to create for yourself more often than not. You just have to. And I don't see that in Vlahovic's game. He's not bad. And I think that in the right system and the right team, he could do amazing. I just don't think he's better than some of the other strikers. And again, if we're prioritizing a striker, I'd rather us go for Gyökeres or even Osimhen personally. But Bach says, what do you think of Mitrovic as a center forward? I think, again, one of those kind of just old school, powerful, big, tall. It's gonna if we had signed like someone like Mitrovic or even Vlahovic when Jose Mourinho was here, they'd probably cook, or when David Moyes maybe was here, or even to an extent maybe Ollie. But I think that in this system, I think this system asks a little bit more from a striker than just, can you get on the end of something? You might have to be the second or third link in the chain rather than just the final link, if that makes sense. Again, I don't think they're bad. I just don't think he's as good as some of the other strikers that are going to be available. Leonard says, I was a fan when he was at Fulham, but haven't followed him since he left. Where is Mitrovic now? Is he in Saudi League? Did he go? I don't remember now. We go to like Al Ali or something. Danny V says, give Højlund credit. He created space for Ahmad goal. He needs to react and think a little faster. It was okay yesterday. Yeah. I'll always give Højlund credit. I think he should have done better with that one-on-one chance he had. I think that his first touch can let him down a little bit. But again, he's young. He's similar to Garnacho, similar to Menu. What I've seen from Højlund already, what we saw from him last year, the conversion rate was on point. He was our top scorer last year. He wants to get involved. The problem with Højlund is, again, like I've said many times, and you guys are probably tired of hearing me say it, he wasn't meant to be our main striker. It's just we couldn't get another one. We need someone a little more experienced, someone like an Osimhen, Højlund shouldn't be carrying the goal responsibility for this team right now. Is basically, we can't be putting the same expectations on a 21-year-old that we would on someone who's 26, 27, 28. That's just not fair. We wouldn't do that to Kobbie Mainoo. We probably wouldn't do that to Garnacho. We wouldn't do it to Collier if he came in. It is what it is. So Box Mitrovic is Al Hilal. Okay, yeah, that was the other one I couldn't think of. Yeah, and like Danny says, he should have hit it earlier. Yeah, he really should have done that a little earlier. And he was, again, the reason Højlund's first touch is a problem. It happened the other day. Again, I want to say it was against Newcastle. He gets the ball and his first touch just takes it so wide. He's got a cushion. He's so powerful that he has to start realizing that you don't need to be so strong with your touch. You can cushion the ball a little bit, and it doesn't take a lot of pressure to move the ball. But when you're young, when your game is based on pace and power, and you're excited, you're hungry, you want goals, I think it's easy to do that kind of stuff. But he'll get better. He'll be fine. Tenzin, Højlund, stinker, and Hook. I think it was a stinker. It's just, it's Liverpool. If you're going up against, if you watch the match back, there were so many moments where if you look at the average position of the United players, it was like Højlund was the top position, but it was like Højlund and then like 10, 15 yards everyone else. Like, he's just isolated, I think. That, and if you watch the match back, Højlund was surrounded by red jerseys. He was getting double teamed by Van Dijk and Konate over and over and over again. He was limping. I think he was limping back onto the team bus. Like, he's isolated. There's nothing he can do about that. We need to get someone else in that 10 role, someone else who can do a little something. We need to get more bodies up in that final third, but he'll get there. He's still young. I'm going to give him time like I give any young player. But Corey, welcome, my friend. What do you think of Rashford going on loan? Here's the problem, though, with Rashford going on loan. Again, we were talking about this earlier. A loan doesn't help us. It gets his wages off, but the books, great, but we need the money, and Rashford is all profit. Like, this just is what it is. If he doesn't want to be here, if he's not in the plan, we can't do these loans. Now, where the caveat with that is if it's a loan with an obligation and the obligation is significant, then I might be willing to wait a little bit longer. But again, we need money now because we need players now. Rashford represents nothing but profit. The only other player you're going to be able to sell right now is maybe Garnacho. but we need money. So I don't mind him leaving. It can't be on loan though. We need money. So talking about Saudi, does anyone know how Antony? Nobody knows Lionhearts because nobody watches the Saudi league. You'll get more people at a freaking high school lacrosse match than you are going to get the Saudi league. Tenzin says Rashford rejecting Saudi like he has any other option. Rashford wants to play in England again, and you're not going to do that if you go to the Saudi league. It just is what it is. It's like if he went to MLS, he would kiss his England spot goodbye anyway. It's not like he's been playing a lot for England anyway, so I don't really know what he's waiting on. You know, I always got to throw out a Van Dickless when we talk about Liverpool because it's just the way it is. Man Bun's out here getting like, man, I died laughing watching Arne Slot try to talk about how we were sitting deep. Our average position, our defenders was like the exact same as Liverpool. Oh, he's already getting butthurt, Arne Slot. That's too bad. Corey, I agree, but from reports so far, it's just a loan, which is annoying. Again, you know, the reports, we're talking about them tonight. Again, nothing here is set in stone. I don't necessarily buy into all of it. It's just we're talking about it. But I don't like the idea of a loan, Corey, if that makes any sense. Box says, first time I've seen Slot rattled. Yeah, he was talking all that good shit when they beat us earlier season, breaking down our tactics for us. And now when he tries to break down the tactics, he doesn't even get it right. No, the problem is Liverpool thought it was going to be a walk in the park at their own gaff, and we showed up and played them off the park. I mean, I would have loved if all the players on their way out just started pissing in the snow, right? And these fucking scouts bastards, bin dipping pricks. Darwin Nunez still needs to go get a retrospective red card for that tackle, and they're just dirty, scummy pricks, man. All of them. Ever since they started getting a little good under Klopp, even guys like Andy Robinson just turned into a little prick. I can't stand Alexander Arnold. Like Darwin Nunez has always been a prick. It's freaking annoying, man. He says 100. Yeah. If we would have won that game, I had a thumbnail all set up that I put like snow mounds in it, but I had like the letters, like, and I had the word "Have that Scousers" in yellow, and I had it look like somebody was peeing in the snow. But we didn't get to do that. I can't try to flex when we didn't win, but that was set to go. That was in the chamber, ready to go. But whether or not you believe the Osimhen rumors, the Vlahovic rumors or not, whatever you believe, it does not seem like it. It does seem like United are actively looking for someone in the attacking realm, whether that's someone like Cavaradona, someone like number 10, a striker. It looks like we're looking for someone up there. David Ornstein dropped a bomba on us today. If you saw from the thumbnail, he's chimed in and claimed that United are among 3 clubs who are actively seeking to sign Randall Kolo Muani on loan. It's us, Spurs, and Juventus, apparently. I don't know about you, but I'm not convinced on Kolo Muani. He reminds me a lot of Andrea Bellotti, if you guys remember that guy. One good season in a league that, quite frankly, not a whole lot of people rate as highly in the top 5. One good season, and apparently he's this world-class player. He had one decent season at Eintracht Frankfurt, hasn't done shit since. Since he moved to PSG. The problem with PSG signing both Gonçalo Ramos and Kolo Muani, like, what were you doing there? He's only got 2 goals in 14 games this season, and that's 14 games in all comps, by the way, not cutting it. So I'm not convinced by Kolo Muani. The loan thing is interesting. That seems like something that we would be trying to do. If you get a loan with an obligation to buy for Rashford, and they try to do something like Kolo Muani for 6 months, and then at the end, Kolo Muani goes back to PSG, we get money from Rashford, and we go all out for someone like Gyökeres or Osimhen or something, I'd be a little bit more amenable to that. But if I had to choose between Kolo Muani, Vlahovic, and Osimhen, I mean, I'm definitely tweaking Osimhen all day long. The loan just seems like the only thing we can afford, but I think I would rather just go all out in the summer for Gyökeres if we're looking for a striker. Box says McAllister, McAllister. Oh, I forgot about McAllister. Even Gravenberch is turning into a little bastard. Even guys like Harvey Elliott, I mean, that ramen noodle-headed piece of shit from last season, even Harvey Elliott can be a little bit of a prick sometimes. Box says, Kolo Muani seems a sideways step move. Honestly, Kolo Muani is a step backwards in my opinion. I just don't rate him. I don't think he's that good. Danny says, Muani, poo, left wing back and CEM is essential. Yeah, if we could get our left wing back wrapped up in maybe like a number 10 or at least like a mobile, press resistant, creative midfielder like a Nippon or something, someone who can play a little deeper and help out, I would be all over that personally. We need someone to rotate with Cobby. Cobby can't do it every week. He's too young. He can't be playing that. And this is the same with Højlund. Højlund should not be starting week in, week out. He's just not there yet. Lionheart says, I do have a soft spot for Andy Robbo. Sorry, guys. The rest of them are a bunch of dick noses. I mean, Randy, I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's just turned into a little prick since he joined Liverpool. I loved him at Hull. I wanted us to sign him at Hull. What did Liverpool pay for him? Like $3 million? I was all over that. What was that, like 7, 8, 9 years ago? We just didn't happen. We were just spending money for no reason. Jota, no, I forgot. They have too many of these players that are just complete. Luis Diaz. I mean, yeah. Composed view. I think we need something now. Our attack has no boy. Højlund needs help. Yeah, we do. We need somebody now. I'm not saying Kolo Muani couldn't join and then rediscover his form. It could happen. We've seen it happen before. I can only base my opinion on what I've already seen, and what I've already seen is just not enough for me for Kolo Muani. I'd rather you guys know, like I like Mohamed Amara, who's playing at Wolfsburg right now. He was playing in the Belgian league. I really like him. Very similar profile. Omar Marmoush has been doing pretty well for a couple of years now. He was at, I want to say, Rangers last season and joined Frankfurt this season, and he was banging in for Rangers. It might not be Rangers. That might be someone else I'm thinking of. I think there's a Macedonian striker I'm thinking of when it comes to Rangers. Don't quote me. I'm all over the place right now. Composed view. Kolo Muani might not be good. However, I prefer him to Osimhen, who refused to come to United. I care about the numbers, but this is why we talk about it. Everybody's got different priorities, right? I like Osimhen's numbers. I like his good age profile. The attitude thing with Osimhen is one of those things that gets me. That's kind of why I started cooling on Cunha after he got in trouble against Ipswich, but because we do need mentalities, but we don't want that kind of mentality, if that makes sense. So hopefully it was just a one-off. Bang Bag Pat for light. Welcome to the channel, my friend. I wish we signed Neto. You mean Neto? Pedro Neto, yeah. I liked Pedro Neto. I think I held off when he got that big injury a couple years back because I wanted to see how he recover. Same with Fofana at Leicester when he got. I thought Fofana. There was a time where I thought Fofana was going to be the first 100 million pound defender that we saw. Then he picked up that serious injury, and I had to take a step back and see how he recovered. It doesn't look like he's recovered it as well as I was hoping. Danny B says, I just need to step up, get signings done ASAP. If Nipan goes somewhere else, I'm done with Ineos. I did see some tentative links. I can't remember where I saw them linking him to Benfica, I want to say. I really hope that doesn't happen. Part of me is like, that would be a really good move for him. But part of me is like, heck no, come on, man. Like, it's a free hit. I just don't get it. But again, I'd probably still go all out in the summer for Gyökeres, if anybody, if we're trying to get anybody. NATO might sort the dressing room out. Moani loves his hookers, his ladies of the night. I heard. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't read that anywhere. That's interesting. Box says Chelsea physio is ruining careers. I mean, so are ours, to be honest. This is why, like, it's sad that I'm at this point as a United fan, but I'm at a point now, like, I'll like, as much as it pains me, as much as I think a player is good, when we're linked and I see the injury record, I'm like already like, ugh, fuck. Like, it was like that with De Ligt. It was like that with Mazraoui. It's a little bit like that with Alphonso Davies. And now it's like that with Nuno Mendes. Like, I just can't get excited for a player who's already injury prone before they even get here because we'll just kill them. It'll be like a Saw movie. They'll be chained in the corner of the physio room having to saw off their own leg because this is what we do to players at this club, man. It's insane. So we've got on Rashford getting some interest apparently from AC Milan reportedly. We brought him up with Napoli. We'll see what happens there. Some potential further player sale news. So this is coming from Dharmesh Sheth with Sky Sports. He claims a number of clubs, including from Spain and Greece, which we've kind of already heard in the past, have made contact with United about a loan for Antony. And United are considering all offers right now. So we've seen him linked with Real Betis. I think Fenerbahce were linked a while back. I think it was Olympiacos, I want to say, were linked with him a month or two ago. But I don't think Antony. He's been here a while. I gave him a couple years. You guys know that. I don't see it. He'll probably look a little better in some positions in this current formation than other players. I just think it's too late. We gotta bite the bullet. We gotta take the loss, and we just gotta move him on. Another club, another league could reignite his career. Who knows? Bach says, we need more Bruno Fernandes 90-minute, 24/7, 365 players. We need more Bruno Fernandes that we saw yesterday. If that Bruno Fernandes can show up week in, week out, whether it's Liverpool, City, or fucking Ipswich, or Wolves, or Bournemouth, or whoever, if these players, including Bruno, show up like that every day, training, at home, eating dinner, taking a shit, whatever, if they show up with that mentality in every single facet of their lives, I'm here for it. It is dry as a bone in here just because it's so cold. Danny B says on Antony, loan with an obligation, 15 mil, get him gone. Yeah, we need those wages off the books. 200,000 a week is killing us right now. Like he's got to go. He's just not going to do it. You know, it is what it is. Bach says Greek League becoming the retirement home for United players. Who else? Who else is in the Greek League from United? You have to refresh my memory. Did Palestri go to the Greek League? I can't remember now. Palestri, Martial, Shortiri. That's who I was. Martial. Shortiri. Yeah. I forgot about Shortiri as well. He was at PAOK, wasn't he? Bang Bang Pat for life. Going off the incredible performance against Liverpool the other day, how many players do you think we really are being where we ought to be? How many players are we really off being so how many players do we need? Well, there's probably a small handful of players that I would keep, and probably half of those players right now that I would put in the starting 11. No, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek. No, probably about half a dozen, probably good enough to be in the starting 11. Maybe another couple could be squad players, but we need a lot of help. And it's not just because of who we have, it's because of who we're probably going to be losing. We just can't, we don't have the depth to afford to lose a lot of players for free. Like we could be losing, like nothing's been decided on Maguire yet, but we could be losing 3 center backs for free. We could be losing Eriksen for free. We need help. We haven't really addressed the left back problem for many, many years. We need more midfielders. As it seems like we always need midfielders at this club. And then we do need another striker. We have a lot of stuff to do. And a big part of this, again, is going to have to start with getting rid of some players. Addition by subtraction. Sometimes that is how you strengthen. But we'll see. We're a long way off from where we need to be. That's for sure. But you let me know what you think. How many players would you keep? How many players do you think we need to get? Boxes. Makeda there as well. Makeda. Now when I think of Kobbie Mainoo, I think of Makeda because of that goal he scored against Liverpool last year in the quarterfinal. Composed view, couldn't Bruno's performance be due to taking a game off, albeit via red card? Yeah, we talked about that a little bit yesterday, and I think I spoke about it earlier, you know, whether it was the kind of the break midweek because we didn't have a midweek match this week, whether it was the break from the match last week, whatever. Maybe he is, Father Time is undefeated. It does catch up to everyone. Maybe now that he is, 29, 30, he might not be able to play as many minutes as he has been. Maybe that all those minutes are catching up to him. I don't know. But whatever happened, like I said yesterday, whatever it was, whatever the difference was, figure it out, identify it, hold on to it, and carry it with you tight. Don't let go of it, because whatever happened yesterday, we need more of that. So I don't care what he did, whether if he was just like sleeping in a separate room from the missus for a week or something to stay focused. I don't care. Do it again. Get it done. Bang Bang says, my thing is I see that performance and I think we're capable, and we are, because these pair proved it. Yes, we definitely need more to get where we need to be, but we also should demand more from our players that we have now. Yeah. And that's what we've been talking about for months. These players have got to do better. And that was my final point yesterday with my 3 thoughts on the match was, you remember, it was well done. Now do it again. Keep it up. This performance, this success, it raises expectations. It raises standards. You have to maintain. You have to build on that. We have no excuses now. You can't hide. It's like if you get an A in a class, your parents are now going to expect you to get A's. That's why I constantly got C's. So when I got an A, I got cool stuff, and when no one cared. So we got to maintain now. Now the expectations are there. Composed View says, Amorim said Maguire is getting extension. Yeah, that's what he said. I'll hold off until it's finalized. It is January. He is able to agree with another club, so you never know. Maybe he wants to go play. If there's a club like Fulham or something who are like, well, you'll start every week, and he's only going to be like fifth choice at United, he might opt to go do that instead. We don't know, but it's his agent's job and to make sure that his client is getting the best role. So until it's finalized, Composed View, I don't want to just jump to conclusions there, but you're right. We did talk about that the other day. That Amorim did say they're working on that. So of the three that we would be leasing for free, Maguire is the one center back I probably would have opted to keep as well. So from Antony to midfield, we've seen Saudi clubs linked to players this week, including Casemiro. And Ben Jacobs reported today that Saudi dealmakers, I don't know what that means, Saudi dealmakers, you guys let me know, believe that Casemiro could be available for around £25 million. 25 million seems about right from the Saudi league, considering his age, how much he has on his contract and whatnot. It's probably like 50% more of what you would pay him in a year in salary, because he's on like 17-18 million a year with the salary. He's like the highest paid player at the club right now, as far as base salary is concerned. So that's going to be the clicker. I don't care how much money we get for Casemiro. We were never going to make that money back. That was a stupid deal, but the wages are the kicker. We need those wages off the book. We need Rashford's wages off the book. We need Antony's wages off the book. Lindelof and Eriksen combined is like $270K a week. You get those guys done. You get Casemiro's 350. You're already looking at 620. Antony, that's 820. Rashford, you're already looking at over $1 million a week in wages, just getting those handful of players off the books. That's huge. That's what's going to help us more than anything else. Bang Bang says, any predictions for the Arsenal game? I personally think that we have to win. FA Cup is an amazing competition. Should solve some respect and class. I'm trying to defend it. I love the domestic cups. I love the atmosphere. I love the upsets. I love the giant killers. I love, as much as I was complaining about the Coventry semifinal last year, it was a good match for the neutral especially. But you have to come back later on this week. We will do the preview for that match later on this week. I try to wait till the pre-match press conference goes out just so I can get some team news and whatnot. But most of the time, the press conferences are just boring. But yeah, we'll usually do those a day or two before the match. So be sure to come back for that one. Bach says, Saudi deal makers, men with brown envelopes. I have no idea what that means. Ben Jacobs is using some crazy codex words here. Lionheart says, in Rolex watches. Has anybody been over to the Saudi at all to watch anything? Any football or anything? I've never been to that part of the world. I've been to England a couple times, Haiti, Honduras, Canada, but I've been a lot all over the U.S., but most of the time I spent is in Louisiana. But yeah, 25 million, is that a good deal for Casemiro? Again, the wages are the biggest kicker for me. Like I just listed off, it's over $1 million for 4 or 5 players that we could be getting rid of, and that is a big deal. That's 50 million saved every year, which is really going to help the PSR stuff. Lionheart says, I've never had the urge. Yeah, it's one of those things. A part of me a long time ago always wanted to go to Australia. And then as I got older and watched a lot more documentaries and stuff, I realized, wow, there's a lot of stuff in Australia that will straight up unalive your ass. And I'm like, I'm good. Same with Africa. I was like, man, I want to go to Africa, see these animals. And then I'm like, oh, tsetse flies. Oh, black mambas. And I'm like, dude, fuck that. Why do they take all the stuff that just wants to kill you and put it in these places that I want to go? You got freaking Australia with king brown snakes, and you've got funnel web spiders and whatnot. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm all right. I don't need to go to Australia. I can look at a picture of a kangaroo online. I don't really care. I can listen to Ange Postecoglou give a press conference, and that's pretty much all the Australia I'll take right now. We're good there. Bang Bang says, yeah, man, you know what it is. I'm just rearing to go after that Liverpool performance. I'm demanding from these players. We've got it now. Felt like a Sir Alex performance. It felt a bit like, I don't want to hype it up. Again, I said the other day, we're not back. This isn't me saying we're back or anything like that. This isn't me. But it did kind of have that feeling, like the potential to be some sort of a watershed moment, some sort of a corner turned. And again, to me, it was less about the play. Like, it was more about just what that represented, the mentality shift. Again, winning our duels, putting in a shift all across the pitch, Every player stepped up. The mentality was the biggest shift I saw yesterday. And it's been the most important thing we've needed to address for so long, but it's also the most difficult thing to work on. So whatever happened, keep it up. That's all I have to say. Bang Bang says, yeah, I would never go to Australia, terrified. I don't mind the spiders. Just why do they have to have ones that can kill you? Like, I don't have those here in Michigan. There's nothing here that's going to kill me besides freaking like going to Flint or the snow. I don't know. There's nothing else here. We don't really get tornadoes. We don't really get earthquakes or anything like that. Obviously, I mean, that's it. There's not really much here. We don't have dangerous animals here. Composed View says, to be honest, the only cup I'd like us to win is the Europa League. It's the sure way to the CL next season and helps with FFP. I would like us to lift the Europa League. We just got to qualify for the next round. That's what I'm concerned about. Who do we have? We have Rangers. We've got Steaua Bucharest. And who else? Is that it? Somebody remind me if I'm missing one. I can't remember now off the top of my head. Leinart says, nah, Australia is okay. Just need a good pair of glasses. I mean, bug spray, maybe. I don't know. How do you fight a kangaroo when it tries to fight you? Bang says, interesting for me to ask as a man from England, how big are Manchester United the States? I mean, they're pretty massive here. I'll hang out with Detroit Red Devils. They're like an officially recognized Manchester United supporter group. They meet at a bar over in Troy. So I was there yesterday. Decent, good crowd. As far as state-wise, obviously we're the biggest club in the world. Tons of supporters groups, tons of fan groups. There are a lot of supporters groups from different clubs around. I think there's an Aston Villa group somewhere around here. There's a Newcastle group somewhere. I think there's a West Ham group nearby. There's a City group that meets at a bar not that far from me, but there weren't that many people there. Surprise, surprise. We went there for a derby last year, but it's a lot of Liverpool, some Chelsea over here, and then you've get like your Barcelona and your Real Madrids, but other than that, United are huge everywhere, right? I mean, it is what it is. Box says just 2 games left. So, yeah, so it is Steaua Bucharest and Rangers. So Rangers could be tough. Really, up until the Liverpool match, all it took was just showing up and putting in a little bit of fight and getting about the pitch and being a little physical. And you're probably going to get a result against us. But it's just I like what I saw at Liverpool. I'm hesitant to say again that we're back. All I'll say is, again, like I said yesterday, I demand to see more of that. That raises the expectations, that raises the bar, and we need to see something more. If that's what we saw after 1 week of training, we're getting a whole nother week now ahead of Arsenal. And like I said, we'll do the preview, but again, one of the big takeaways I had from the preview, just real quick, is that the pressure is more on Arsenal, I think, than us right now. Arteta really has to start proving something. He really has to start winning. He's been there how many years? He has that one FA Cup with a squad that that weren't even his players. And all along this time, we've been hearing trust the process, but all we've seen is 8th, 5th, bottling the league. I said it the other day, they've missed their chance to win the league. The last 2 years was their best opportunity, and they fucked it up. They're not winning the league. That just is what it is. Arteta will be lucky if he's still at Arsenal next year, if they really want to trust the process. This summer is going to be a real test of that trust the process bullshit. Lionheart says, plus Detroit has a RoboCop and Axel Foley to keep you safe. That's true. That is true. We will claim RoboCop. Bang Bang says, it's crazy to me that does kind of culture in English football in the States, and I grew up having a stereotype of that. In America, all people cared about was baseball and basketball. Yeah, I've never got into basketball. I've been playing since I was like 5 or 6, soccer, football. And I stopped around high school, mostly just because a lot of the guys on the high school team, they just weren't guys that I really got along with. So I was like, I don't have to do that. I'm old now, so I don't play as much as I'd like to. I still kick around the weather's night. I'll still go do like indoor stuff as well. But no, I did American football. And then the more and more I got more into football, the less and less I got interested in American football, mostly just because of the commercials. Yeah, I know a lot of people, we do like baseball. It's the Lions here. Obviously, the Lions won a big match against our rivals last night as well. So basketball, yeah, we do like basketball. Hockey, I think hockey's probably bigger around where I am in Michigan. We do love the Red Wings here. So we do like that. It's just interesting, right? Different parts of the world, what they're into. So, but we know that, people in England love basketball. We know Rashford loves basketball, right? So closing up on some good news, because that is wrap it up for the transfer rumors for today. Good news: Simon Stone reports that United are expecting to confirm Amad Diallo's new long-term contract later this week. So this wasn't just a simple let's exercise that 1 year. They're giving him a flat-out new contract altogether, new wages, new terms, not just a let's do the 1 year rollover. So we could be getting that this week, according to Simon Stone. That could be really cool. I know we've all been pushing for that. Honestly, if the summer hits and Rashford's gone, if the summer hits and Mount's not fit, and we can maybe find a way to get rid of Mount, give Ahmad his pick of the 7 or the 10 shirt. Let him just do what he wants with that. Nothing wrong with the 16 shirt. Obviously, Carrick wore that shirt as well, and so did Keno. But Bang Bang says, in England, we hate that weird soccer. Yeah. Justin, my friend going with me, if you saw earlier in the stream, Justin, his brother's a Chelsea fan, and I guess a bunch of them are going to go over. Oddly enough, after Justin and I get back, his brother and some other people are going, and one of the guys going is not like a footy fan, but he was like, I'm gonna call it the field, not the pitch. I'm gonna call it soccer, not football. And I'm like, well, good luck with that. Let's see how it goes. He says that Bang Bang. Yeah, I can be a bit shameless sometimes. Bang Bang. You know, if you hear my dog barking downstairs. Box Ugarte should get the 16. Oh, that's a good shout. Would you guys give Ugarte the 16? I have no problem with that. Let Ahmad grab either the 7 or the 10 and give Ugarte that 16. But yeah, it is good news. Hopefully we'll get that new contract sorted this week. As always, you know, I'll be back if and when we get enough kind of transfer news. I do have another class. I think my next PFA class is on Thursday, so I might be busy Thursday with that. And then I've got someone to come over look at some water stuff. So Thursday could be a bit iffy, so you might not see me Thursday, but if and when we get more transfer news, if there's enough of it to talk about, enough big stuff, we'll obviously be here to get your thoughts on that. Justin says Ryan is not going to conform to British ways. Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't remember his name, but yeah, is that Shannon's boyfriend? Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be funny. It's going to be funny. Said he won't wear a jersey, won't call it a pitch or anything. Yeah, it is what it is. He'll come over to the dark side eventually when he's there. Just take him to a pub. Find him a good boozer before the match when they're over there, and he'll get on board. So you guys let me know what you thought of any of the transfer news. Of course, if you weren't able to catch the live, leave a comment. You know I'll respond to all the comments after the fact, mostly because this channel is built by you guys, your opinion, and I'm just here to kind of talk about the news. And really, I just care about what you guys think. But you guys are legends. You helped us reach 2K so quickly. We're on the road to 3K. So in order to keep that going, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, hit that bell if you don't want to miss out on any content. Bang Bang says, no, it's okay. I'm shameless myself, all for the banter. You haven't even seen banter yet, my friend. Trust me, if you watched that Liverpool match reaction, it would have been so much worse had we actually won that match. I don't remember where I put my bottle of Scouse Tears. It's around here somewhere, but I would have been chugging Scouse Tears. I would have gone Stone Cold Steve Austin, clap, poured the Scouse Tears all over me. It probably would have ruined my laptop, and I don't even care. But I can be absolutely shameless when it comes to that kind of shit, and I don't care. I really don't. Box says Casemiro being offered a pay rise of $650 apparently at Saudi. Yeah, I saw that. I try to be very careful with the wording when it comes to these rumors. So you'll notice there's a lot of stuff that comes out that I don't address, mostly because of the wording. I'm not saying that you're like what you said was pointless, Box, or anything, but like the report I saw was like he could see a pay rise of up to $650. And when I see stories like that, and again, this isn't me saying they're not true, but when I see the wording, what that tells me is that someone has just looked at like what the Saudi league was paying another player, and if that club sold a player, that means that player's wages are now free. So that's what he could be making. He could be making that. He could be making anything else. It's just the number that the journal put out there. So again, not saying it's not true. It's just the way those things are worded. Sometimes I'm like, doesn't really sound like news. It just sounds like people just saying like this could happen, kind of thing. So I'm boring in that way, but I like to actually just look at some of the more interesting kind of stuff, if that makes sense. Bang Bang says, the crazy thing, when I was a kid, we actually beat Liverpool on my 7th birthday, January 1505. Nice. Well, happy birthday to you. My birthday falls on the last day of the transfer window, so it's either a really fun birthday for me or it's not a fun birthday at all. Last time I remember I got a birthday present, it was Marouane Fellaini. So that was cool, right? Bang Bang says, how's that for banter? And there was another time at Anfield, John always scored a winner right in the last moment. Great banter. Yeah, we love the banter. If you can't get up for a little bit of that tribalism, a little bit of that shamelessness, then football's not for you. You just my wife doesn't understand it. My wife's not a big sports person. She's not very competitive in that way, so she can't understand the banter sometimes. She thinks I'm mean, and I'm like, I could be so much worse. You haven't heard anything yet. I don't care. And I don't even care if we get walloped the very next match. You got to enjoy the banter while you have it. You really do. And last year's FA Cup quarterfinal is just banter for a while. It's points for a while. Bach says, I think Berbatov was a deadline day signing. Yeah, we do get some decent ones now and then. It's just, it is what it is. But that's going to do it for me, you guys. Thank you for stopping by tonight. Again, a little transfer news roundup. Not a whole lot going on, but some interesting stuff coming out as far as Kolo Muani is concerned. Obviously, coming from David Ornstein, you want to give it some time. So let me know your thoughts. Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Keep an eye out for any more of these videos this week. Again, come back later on this week for Arsenal FA Cup preview. We'll be talking about that as well. Enjoy the rest of your nights, and I will see you on the next one. Later.